Now, let us prepare our hearts and our minds for a time of meditation. Thank you.
God before me, God behind me, to the left and the right. God above me, God below me, all around and inside. God before me, God behind me, to the left and the right. God above me, God below me, all around and inside.
In Reverend Ken.
Hello, everyone. And thank you, David. That was beautiful. Thank you, Richard, for your opening prayer and your holding the consciousness that we're all holding right now, staying steadfast to the truth that there is only one power and one presence, to the truth that wherever we are, God is at work, and whatever we are experiencing, there is the power within us to overcome and to reaffirm and reassert divine order. I just want to point out that for Unity of Davis, I don't know if you have this every week, but you have a children's program here today because my 7-year-old is sitting back there on the chair with you. So we take this moment to bless the children as well as part of this service. And Joshua is a true gift of manifestation in my life. He's the third of my children, and he's asking why I'm talking about him right now. He can hear, even though he's on his iPad. And he is a gift. He is a gift that I didn't expect and that I consciously manifested both at the same time. So I want to talk to you today about that, about the book I just wrote and just was published by Unity. It's called Unapologetic Manifestation. And the title comes from Reverend Ellen Davenport, who is our vice president in charge of publication and the editor of the book for me. And she suggested the title after we worked on the book together. And recently, when I was being interviewed at the book launch party, a good friend and colleague of mine asked me, unapologetic manifestation, do you have something you feel you need to apologize for? And I laughed because it was such a pointed question. And I realized in that moment that that is true. There are things that I think I need to apologize for. I answered it this way at that event. When I was a little kid, I was beaten at home by my father, who was determined to make a man out of me. He was scared of who I really was as a gay man. On the way to school, I was beaten by the other boys. And when I got to school, I was beaten by the nuns. So I quickly learned how to hide, how to fit in and skate by. And that unconscious choice I made as a child at my son's age persists into my 60s as I sit here with you, still unpacking some of those unconscious beliefs. And as my good friend, Dr. Martha Creek says, your BS, your belief systems, those systems ingrained in you that you have taken on from society, from well-meaning family, and from people who don't want you to get trampled on or who want to protect you, but teach you that you have to play safe. Teach you that you can't take too much, because if you take too much, there won't be enough for someone else. That teach you that the world only has so much material supply, and that you better get what's yours now, and you better protect it and hoard it and not share it. And those beliefs that we take on unconsciously persevere, even when we say affirmations that are the opposite. There's a little script running in the back of our head that, oh, I better leave a little bit more for someone else. I better not take too much, or I better not get too big for my britches. And one of my favorites is, don't be too full of yourself. Well, why wouldn't you want to be full of yourself? Who else are you going to be full of? Right? I don't want to be full of anyone else. I am the unique expression of the divine. I am a gift to the planet. And when I and you step into our wholeness, step into our fullness, the whole planet is lifted. The whole planet is raised in experience, in abundance, in possibility, because we have fully shown up. We have shown up with our divine gifts, with our divine ideas, with our divine potential, seeking to unlock it in the world and create a new world that works for everyone, no exceptions and no exclusions. So I titled this book Unapologetic Manifestation, because I'm tired of playing small. I'm tired of thinking that who I am isn't good enough. And I'm tired of us marginalizing and losing people because we think they're not quite right or not what the world truly needs. You know, we see it in our society, and it's really easy to point out in our government right now, for those of us here in the United States, or in the world, as we see injustices happening everywhere, that people are being marginalized and kicked aside. But we do it too. We do it to ourselves, and we do it to opportunities that we are blind to. And we do it in ways that are small and keep us small. So I invite us in this study, in this book, in this journey, to really dive deep. To really dive deep and understand that there is true abundance all around us, and to look beyond abundance teachings, which Unity and New Thought has been teaching for decades, but to look at them in a new way. And I talked to Ellen Davenport when I was writing this book, and I submitted the book proposal to her, and talking about we wanted to look at our prosperity and our abundance teachings for the 21st century. Because there's been amazing, amazing developments in the fields of neuroscience, of social science, of psychology that explains what New Thought and spirituality has been doing for thousands of years, but understand how it works within us and how we are actually the ones blocking our good. There's no devil out there trying to get us. There's no force of evil working against us. There is only our own BS belief system that somehow we're too old. We don't have the right education. We don't have the right gender. We don't have the right financial situation. We don't have the resources behind us. to be successful. And I know I do it, and I watch my community do it all the time. So my catchphrase to them, whether you're 8 or 80, you're here on the planet and you've got stuff to do. So let's step up. Let's live the abundant life. Let's live a life of true purpose and meaning. And let's manifest that life for everyone on the planet. Because when we stop thinking about a zero-sum game, that there's only so many pieces of the pie, when we cooperate and collaborate with other people, we actually make the whole pie bigger. We enrich the whole field of infinite potential. And then there's more than enough to go around. I don't know about you, but there was 2 stories that I was told as a kid that we now know are totally false. The first one was that if the world goes beyond a certain population, we're going to experience starvation and there won't be enough food for all of us to go around. Do you remember that when that happened in the 70s, when we said if the world gets to a population of 5 billion people, that we won't have enough food supply? Well, here we are at 8 billion people on the planet, and there's a surplus of food, but the distribution systems are broken. How we are managing the food supply is what's keeping people in lack, in poverty, in hunger. But there's more than enough food to go around. Food is wasted every day on this planet. So the second one was that you only have a certain number of brain cells. Okay? Did anyone get taught that too as a child? And that once your brain cells were depleted, you would never be able to replace them. So you got to protect those brain cells. Well, we all know now that that's not true, that actually our brains are constantly rewiring themselves, and that you can actually help your brain to rewire itself, and you're making new neural pathways in your brain all the time. Stroke victims taught us that, and how we reprogram the brain. Neuroscience now teaches us that meditation and journaling are some of the quickest ways that we can use to create new neural pathways in our brain and to create the new belief systems that will actually serve us rather than hindering us. So in this book and in the classes I teach on it, we talk about the 5 components of abundance, because I believe that abundance is much more than financial prosperity. That's important, but we'll get to it. The first and the most important one is vibrant health. And vibrant health does not mean the absence of diagnosis, doesn't mean the absence of prognosis. But a diagnosis is not a sentence, and a prognosis isn't fact. It is just what the average person goes through. And I can see by seeing all your faces here, you are not average. You are not average. You are beyond average. And just because someone else has experienced a certain outcome with a dis-ease doesn't mean that that's your path, that your mind, your practices, your spiritual intelligence can lead you on a unique path. And I know this. I know this as a fact because in 1988, I was diagnosed as HIV positive. And I have lived for the last 38 years without ever being sick from HIV. I have lived and thrived and had multiple careers on Broadway, in business, and now in ministry through with a disease, with a prognosis that I have proven to be false at every turn. And I know the same is for you. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have challenges, physical challenges, but vibrant health is the activity of life that we live despite all of the things, the material things, physical things of our bodies. We can rise above it all. The second is enriching relationships. This is another myth I want to debunk. There is not a single one of us here that has made it without the help of others. We all have had hands and feet and activities and loved ones lifting us, educating us, shaping us, promoting us, holding us up when we fall, and helping us to achieve great things. Enriching relationships are what make all of our lives possible. There is no such thing as a self-made man, a self-made woman. We are all in community with each other. And when we foster and develop relationships that truly support us, like you are doing right here now at Unity of Davis, we shift everything and we live an abundant life because of the relationships we cultivate, what we give to people and what we receive from people. The third component is work you love. Now, that may be a paying job, it may not, but it is the work that you're here to do. What I like to talk about it is at your purpose. Your purpose is bigger than a mission statement. Your purpose is better than a job because jobs end. Careers morph. I've had several different careers, but I always do the same thing. I lift people up. I inspire, I demonstrate. That's my purpose on this planet. And whether I was a performer on Broadway or I'm a minister on Sunday, my job is to make people have an experience of something larger than themselves. And I know each and every one of you have a purpose here on the planet because you're here. You're here and you have the capacity to make a difference in the world. So do the work you're here to do. Love wastefully, love extravagantly, serve with abandon, give and receive, as that may be your true purpose. But you decide how you're going to be in this world. And then material and financial resources. We all need them. I'm sitting here in my beautiful office at Unity San Francisco, and right behind me in that room, there are people gathering ready for our service. We all need a roof over our head. We all need transportation, whether it's public transportation or our own personal cars or a bike, whatever it is, we need the material things of life. But what I love about that is that you don't need to own it to enjoy it. I don't own this building. Unity San Francisco owns this building. And it is magnificent, and I get to take in the beauty of it. It's on a street here in San Francisco that is lined with beautiful 100-year-old Victorian houses that are worth millions and millions of dollars. And I can just walk down the block and enjoy the beauty without having to pay the mortgage. So I have material resources without having to have the financial resources. But I do have financial resources, whether it's $1 that I receive or thousands of dollars that I receive. They all have the same substance of God. And when I appreciate them in the correct way, when I can align my consciousness with divine consciousness, they multiply, they grow, and gratitude is the way I anchor that in. And the last component of abundance that I talk about in the book and in my work is leisure time. I have fallen victim too many times to the idea that I have to work harder in order to be successful, that I have to fill every moment with doing, or I'm not really valuable. And that is a fallacy. It is an oxymoron that if you work harder, you're going to be more successful. What you're going to be is tired. What you're going to be is burnt out. What you're going to be is cranky, because hangry, right? Because we forget to eat and rest and take care of ourselves. We lose the ability to see what's right in front of us because we're so fixated on an arbitrary goal, when in truth, abundance and wholeness and love and joy exist in every moment. Exist in the silence, exist in the stillness. Those 5 components of abundance come together to make a tapestry that can't be pulled apart because one little thing is missing. It is just an interesting defect, a thing that makes the art unique and special and precious. Like the Pueblo Indians leave a flaw in their art. We too are works in progress. We too are always moving forward and we're not done. At what most people call retirement age, here I sit with little children. I have 3 children altogether, and I have launched a new career as an author. I have launched a new career as a keynote speaker, and I still work as a minister because I know that I have more to do in the world, for the world, and through the physical world. So I invite you to look at your lives, to look at what you have already manifest in the world, because I am sure that each and every one of you have done some remarkable things in life, have done some remarkable achievement from raising your own children to careers and impacts you've made on the world, or what you're doing with Unity of Davis right now, or your own Unity community. What you're doing is saving souls, is lifting people and giving them hope for a future that is brighter and more fulfilling than they've ever known. And that's no small thing. That's monumental. That is truly the work of spirit here on earth. So in the book and in life, I lay out the 5 steps. Now, they don't happen all at once. There are 5 steps of manifestation. They don't happen in order. And I mean, they're actually all happening at once. But because it's a book, I had to lay them out in chapters. So there are 5 individual steps, and they each have their own chapter in the book. But I just want to touch on them quickly because it's important that we understand. We need to focus our minds. We live in the world in a universe that is infinite, and that we recognize that we have infinite potential. But to work with it, we need to focus on something. So to use your power within you to focus your mind is the first step. The second step is to shift your consciousness, because if you don't change something, all you're going to manifest is what you've already manifested. To create something new, you have to be new. You have to release something that no longer serves you and take on a new way of being that actually might. And so the third step is to create new concrete steps in your life, to shift the way you do things, to shift the patterns you've always established in your life. And like for me, I had to shift that belief that I wasn't worthy. And I'm working on it daily to step fully into it. The fourth step is to share your journey. Nobody knows what you're about. How are they going to join you and help you co-create? And the person you need and the situations you need might be waiting for you to give voice to your dream, your idea, your goal, so they can co-create with you, collaborate with you, and create a bigger pie for everyone to enjoy. And then the final step is to be open to how it's going to show up. The kid sitting behind me showed up in life with some severe physical challenges. And from the second he was born, he was put on an intubator, and he had a surgery at 3 weeks old, which I didn't know he was going to make it through or not. And my husband and I sat and prayed, and my community all held him. And almost 8 years later, he's sitting there giving me hell every day, as only an 8-year-old can do. And I have to remind myself sometimes that the good we ask for shows up in different packages than we expect. And that when it shows up different than we expect it to, it's probably a sign it's from spirit and not from our ego. And that he is my biggest teacher. He teaches me and calls me to love, to have more patience and compassion every day of my life. And that is a gift of unapologetic manifestation. It is a gift that I worked really hard to achieve, and that stretches me every day. So I invite you into this journey of our human experience, but to remember that we are primarily and first spiritual beings, having the human experience and to step into it wholly, fully, and magnificently. Thank you for listening to me. Namaste.
Thank you so
Reverend
much.
Ken Daigle. Thank you, Reverend Ken, and thank you. I'm so excited to hear you. And I have to tell you, for our friends from Canada that came to see what virtual ministry is about, it's all about flexibility. That's what I can tell you. And we're going to be a little flexible this morning. And Ken, I apologize for when I timidly said Reverend Ken, because I thought you were going to do the meditation right then. And so,
Oh, I didn't know
but
that
that's
part.
okay. That was great. But we are going to do a brief meditation in just a moment. And also, I was going to introduce you, but you've introduced yourself so beautifully. We heard so many wonderful things about your career and everything. But the one thing I want to say about Reverend Ken is that I recently got to witness this man walk his talk 100%. As many of you know, the unity movement has finally come together again as one movement. That we've all moved together and brought all of unity together. And Ken Daigle happened to have been the the president of the board of directors of Unity at that time. And I have to say that this man moved through that process with the best example of compassionate communication that I have ever seen in my life. He took on every comment, every question, every public and social media statement with ease and grace and respecting the person that he was communicating with. And here we are as one unity. So thank you, Ken, for that. Thank you. Thank you.
And yes, so thank you, Richard. And sorry, I'm juggling a few things, and I appreciate you. Thank you for hovering and being flexible.
Let's be flexible. David Trolley, let's play this inner space if you're ready for that. And let's prepare for a short meditation because I think we need it with everything that's going on out in the world today. Let's relax. David, can we do that?
This inner space has the power to set me free. It's the cavern of creation and the truth of you and me. This inner space, an eternity of time. It's the moment of the holy now and the allness that is mine. This inner space contains all that I need. From deep within the invisible flows the living air I breathe. This inner space flowing through my bones, it stirs my heart, it stirs my mind, in every prayer I've ever known. And I say, breathe, just breathe. Now breathe this peace. This inner space is the ocean of your soul. And when you feel most broken, the truth is you are whole. This inner space connects us one to all. And though it would never push you, it will break down every wall. And I say, breathe, just breathe. Now breathe this peace. This inner space invites us to renew. In all my endless choosing, I become the chosen to this inner space. It never knows a past, and in a quiet place you can hear it, and it might just make you laugh. So I say, breathe, just breathe. Now breathe this peace of this inner space.
So we breathe right here and right now, and know the truth that every moment, in every situation, all of God exists within us and everywhere around us. So in this time of war, in this time of turmoil, in this time of constant change, we use our inner space to remind ourselves and each other of the power that exists within us, the power in our consciousness, power in our being, the power of spirit itself, right here and right now on this planet. So we open to the infinite, we open to life, expanding, healing, evolving, manifesting. We hold the vision within our hearts and in our mind of a world that works for everyone. No exceptions, no exclusions, and no excuses. We hold within our community the vision of a world lifted, a world sharing, a world loving more and more, and of a world healed and whole, a world of infinite possibilities manifested for each soul. So right here in the center of our being, I invite you to envision that world, to envision your life as an integral part of that world, and to see yourself responding, interacting, and sharing from that place of infinite possibility for this time together in full is silence. We are truly grateful. We see the wholeness that already exists. We see the love that is already present. And we see the possibility that others create. So for this time together, and for the infinite good unfolding in us, as us, and through us, we are truly grateful. And together we say, Amen. Ashe.